All right, folks, good morning. All right, let's get started. So for today, Friday, August the 2nd, we have the following data that we have to look out for. 8:30 a.m., we had average hourly earnings month over month, which came in lower than expected. Non-farm employment change came in much lower than expected, and the unemployment rate came in higher than expected. Factory orders month over month comes out at 10 o'clock Eastern. Not a major report, but still, we need to keep that one in mind. Now, as far as this goes, the unemployment rate going up actually is positive for the markets because the Fed, one of the major things the FOMC is watching is the unemployment rate. They want to see it higher. They want to keep it around 5%. It usually surprises people to hear that, but that's a fact. The Federal Reserve wants unemployment, and that's been a thing for them for a long time, to be at a certain level. If it's too low, then they feel it's a problem. The labor market's too tight. And if it's too high, of course, it's also a problem. So anyway, that's the theory. That's the practice they work off of. So this number technically, although it's negative for the economy as far as the worker, it's considered positive by the FOMC. But um, whatever the case may be, if we look at the market so far, it's moved lower. Now this happened; it moved lower before these numbers came out. We can see that the market has gapped lower and looks like we're going to open lower overnight. And yesterday was a very bearish day. The Nasdaq yesterday, forgot it was down about just under three. It was either just over, or just under 3%. But it was down at least 3% yesterday. So pretty big decline. Okay, and we're looking like we're going to open lower as well today. So that means that yesterday we had a lot of bearish opportunities, and we'll go over what was moving yesterday. So first we had Airbnb that was able to reach target number two to the downside of 134.02 and then move below that. Um, we also have, one second here. We also have, now this was actually bullish, Netflix. Netflix was able to reach target number two to the upside of 643.78, but then fully reversed after that. But this was a bullish opportunity, so that worked out. Bearish again, CrowdStrike was able to reach, it didn't reach target number two to the downside actually. CrowdStrike bottomed out at 221.66, so just a little bit shy of its target number two to the downside, but very bearish. We have Roku, which was able to reach target number two to the downside of 54.77. Roku did jump overnight due to its earnings report, but so far it's given up most of those gains and has moved back towards yesterday's close. Next up is Rivian, which was able to reach target number two to the downside of 15.26 and then proceeded lower than that. And then we have PayPal, which was bullish, um, but it was not able to reach its target number two to the upside. Topped out at 67.30, which was a little shy of that target number two. And then lastly, Cisco Systems was able to almost reach target number two to the downside. Target number two is 47.18. And Cisco yesterday bottomed out at 47.20, so only 2 cents shy of the target. All right, so obviously a bearish day. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at what's moving in the pre-market. Off subject, before I forget, so a T2 move is about 1.5%. Nope. T2 is not based on a predetermined percentile. It's not based on that. Okay. Like I said, it's an algorithm. It's a lot more complex than what you're thinking. It's not based on any simple rules like that. So the percentages will be different every day. Okay. So that being said, let's take a look at what's moving in the pre-market. Now, Apple's moving after earnings, but not enough. Currently down 1.36%. We can pass on that one since it doesn't meet our minimum requirements for movement. ADAP is showing up on my scanner. It's up 6.3%, 4 million shares. It's over $1 per share, all true. The trading action is a little dicey, not looking like a good stock to trade, so we'll go ahead and add it to our watch list, but noting that it's not trading very comfortably. All right, next up is AKAN, which is presently up 31%, 7.6 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list. Next up is Amazon, which is sharply lower, down almost 10% on 3.5 million shares, and this is all because of earnings. Amazon earnings came out poorly. A good portion of the downward move that we're seeing in the QQQ, remember it's the top 100 stocks in NASDAQ, has to be due to some negatives from earnings. Next up is ASNS, which is presently at break even. So I don't know why this showed up on my scanner, but it doesn't qualify, so we'll skip that one. Next up, another stock that got absolutely obliterated is INTC, Intel, down 24% plus on 21 million shares. It is at least $1 per share, but as you can see, these tech stocks are getting hammered on their earnings. Okay, next up is MKDW, which is presently up 80%, 7.3 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. We'll add that to our pre-market watch list as well. Next up is NVIDIA, which is currently down 4.5%, so not down enough. Of course, that means NVDL will be down about 9%. So here's NVDL down 9.48%. We can add that to our pre-market watch list since it meets all the criteria. Next up is, I see Plug Power on my scanner, but it hasn't moved enough. Only down 1.72%, so we'll skip that. It is worth noting that Snapchat, although it's not a NASDAQ stock, Snapchat also is down very sharply after its earnings, lost about 20% of its value on earnings. All right, next up is SoFi, which is currently down 5.17%, so not down enough. It's very close. So I'll add that to our possibilities list. It will be something we'll just take a quick look at before market open to see if it's doing anything. Tesla's down as well, but not down enough, 2.7%, but worth noting that it's following the rest of the market. And now I have VSEE, which is presently up 174% on 11 million shares. And it's at least $1 per share, so we'll add that to the pre-market watch list. I got it, but that's not what it's based on. Okay. So again, it's never based on percentages. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that there is no relationship between a particular percent. Sometimes it'll be common. You may see some ranges, but it's not based on that. All right, so that being said, if you guys see any other stocks that meet all four of our criteria, let me know in the chat, and we'll go ahead and take a look. Okay, we need a stock that is a NASDAQ listed stock. First of all, must have traded at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume, must have achieved at least a 6% price change, positive or negative, and must be at least $1 per share. I might have said that twice, but anyway. ADAP currently at 4.72% at the moment, so but we already found that one, but it's now moved backwards, but we found that a second ago. NVD is up 11.7% on 9.2 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share. So NVD will be added to the pre-market watch list, yes. Targets are only based on the opening price. It's the only price they're based on. At least that's where they're anchored from. It's not the only price they're based on, but the projection is based on the opening price. So until the market opens, there are no targets. And after the market opens, the targets are set in stone. They cannot change for the day. MKDW is currently up 85.58% on 7.4 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share, so we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list as well. AKAN, we already have. All right, folks. So unless we see any other stocks, then please be sure to like the video. So we have 11 likes, but more than 11 people watching. So please be sure to hit the like button. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Both help us greatly with the YouTube algorithm. And for anyone who's watching this video on a replay, if you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com, our website. There will be a link in the description of this video. Other than that, for everyone who's part of the coaching program, I will see you there in about 22 minutes. And besides that, everyone have a great weekend. I'll see you for Monday's Premarket Pulse. Open the symbol, open table. Okay, open door, sorry, not open table. That is currently down 15% on 1.4 million shares. It's at least $1 per share, so that does qualify. We'll add open. Sorry, I was misunderstanding what you're saying. To the list. All right, folks, have a great trading session, and again, see you on Monday. Take care.